The Comanches are a fascinating Native American tribe, known for their mastery of horsemanship and their nomadic way of life. These natives bravely embarked on daring war raids that would later become legendary. Their relentless pursuit of power and freedom, driven by a deep connection to the land, created a powerful force that held the West in awe and made them formidable figures on the American frontier. But why did the Comanches conduct relentless war raids? Who were the intended victims of their well-thought-out attacks? And how did they manage to execute these raids with such precision and skill? Stay with us as we uncover the answers to these burning questions in today's episode of the Native Journals. In this video, we will explore the hidden aspects of Comanche culture, take a deep dive into their remarkable tactics, and understand how their war raids influenced the course of American history. Support us by hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel. Thanks for joining us. The Comanche were a North American Indian tribe, known for their nomadic horse-riding lifestyle in the southern Great Plains during the 18th and 19th centuries. The name, Comanche, is derived from a Ute word meaning, anyone who wants to fight me all the time. They originally belonged to the Wyoming Shoshone tribe, but migrated southward in stages, displacing other tribes, notably the Apache, from the southern plain. For more than 150 years, the Comanche were the dominant native tribe in the region, known as the Lords of the Southern Plains. However, they also shared parts of Comancheria with the Wichita, Kiowa, and Kiowa Apache, and after 1840, the Southern Cheyenne and Arapaho. By the early 1800s, the Comanche had become a powerful group with a population estimated at 7,000 to 30,000 individuals. They spoke a northern Uto-Aztecan language that served as a common tongue in the region. Like many Plains Indian tribes, the Comanche were organized into autonomous bands based on kinship and social ties. Their economies centered on buffalo products such as robes, teepee covers, and tulle. The Comanche were early adopters of horses acquired from the Spanish, and they bred horses, setting the stage for nomadic equestrian life typical of Plains tribes in the 18th and 19th century. They were skilled horseback riders and conducted raids for material goods, horses, and captives, reaching as far south as Durango, Mexico. Riding on swift horses, the Comanches launched lightning-quick assaults on settlers, other Native American tribes, and even Mexican villagers. Their hit-and-run tactics were ruthless and effective, as they struck with unparalleled swiftness, disappearing into the vast plains before their victims could react. In their quest to secure their homeland and resources, the Comanches engaged in several wars, which not only defined their reputation as formidable warriors, but also shaped the course of history on the American frontier. In the 19th century, prominent Comanche leaders like Juana Parker, Buffalo Hump, and Peter Nakona spearheaded the war raids during the Comanche Wars, resisting encroaching settlers and clashing with authority. Their actions, along with figures like Eagle's Head, Iron Jacket, 10 Bears, and Nakona, marked a chaotic era in the American Southwest. These wars involved the Comanche people and various Spanish, Mexican, and American military forces and civilians in the United States and Mexico. Many of the Comanche wars emerged from territorial disputes, resource competition, and the Comanches' desire to protect their nomadic way of life. Their exceptional warrior culture and horsemanship skills made them fearsome opponents. The Comanche Wars began in 1706, when Comanches raided Spanish colonies in New Mexico and lasted until 1875, with a few Comanche warriors still fighting in conflicts like the Buffalo Hunters' War in 1876 and 1877. The Comanches reached their peak power in the 1840s, conducting extensive raids into Mexico and clashing with Anglo-Americans and Hispanics in Texas. During their nearly 170 years of conflict, the Comanche raids left a significant mark on the history of the American Southwest. These raids were characterized by their swift and deadly nature, making the Comanches one of the most feared Native American tribes of their time. Here are some notable Comanche raids. Fort Parker Massacre. The Fort Parker Massacre in May 1836 was a brutal attack carried out by a coalition of tribes, which included the Comanches, Kiowas, Caddos, and Wichitas. During this assault, they stormed the fort, resulting in the deaths of 5 inhabitants. They also captured several individuals, including a 9-year-old girl named Cynthia Ann Parker, who would later marry the Comanche chief Peter Nocona. Among the other captives were John Richard Parker, Cynthia Ann's brother, and Rachel Plummer, a 17-year-old wife, along with her son James Pratt Plummer. Lastly, Elizabeth Judy Kellogg was also captured, but was later reunited with her sister Martha in 1836. This grim event marked a tragic chapter in the conflict between settlers and Native American tribes during the early 19th century. The raid not only led to loss of life, but also resulted in the capture and integration of some captives into Comanche society, including Cynthia Ann Parker, who spent much of her life among the Comanche. Council House. Fight the Council House. Fight in March 1840 began as a peace delegation, but escalated into a conflict between Comanche delegates and Texas officials. The primary issue revolved around negotiations concerning Texan and Mexican captives held by the Comanches. The Comanches sought to secure the release of their territory, known as Comancheria, which Texas had claimed. During this tense meeting, events took a tragic turn. The conflict culminated in violence, with 12 Comanche leaders losing their lives inside the council house, and an additional 23 Comanches being shot in San Antonio. This incident brought to light the profound conflicts and miscommunications that defined this era, ultimately resulting in a tragic outcome for both the Comanches and Texan authorities who were part of it. Great Raid of 1840. The Great Raid of 1840 marked the largest Native American raid on white settlements in what is now the United States. This significant event followed the tragic Council House fight, during which the Republic of Texas officials attempted to capture and detain 33 Comanche chiefs who had come to negotiate a peace treaty. Unfortunately, this effort resulted in the deaths of these chiefs, along with 24 of their family members and followers. Tensions escalated during the negotiations because the Comanche delegation had only brought one young woman, 16-year-old Matilda Lockhart, as a white hostage when they were supposed to bring more. This led to arguments and fighting between the Texans and the Comanches. The Texas officials were resolute in their determination to secure the release of all white captives held by the Comanche. In response to what the Comanches perceived as a grave betrayal, Comanche War Chief Buffalo Hump organized a massive war party comprising various Comanche bands. This formidable force conducted a deep raid into white-settled areas of southeast Texas, seeking retribution and escalating a tragic chapter in the ongoing conflicts between Native American tribes and expanding American territories in the 19th century. Battle of Plum Creek. The Battle of Plum Creek, which unfolded on August 12, 1840, in Lockhart, Texas, stands as a significant conflict in the annals of Texan history. This confrontation was spurred by Chief Buffalo Hump, who rallied a formidable force of 1,000 Comanche warriors in retaliation for the tragic Council House fight. Initially, the event began as a raid, with the Comanches embarking on a mission to seize livestock and firearms. Over time, this raid metamorphosed into a full-scale confrontation, culminating in a violent gunfight. However, the outcome of the Battle of Plum Creek remains a subject of historical debate. According to the Texas Rangers, they claim to have conquered around 80 Comanche warriors. Yet, when the dust settled, only 12 Comanche bodies were discovered, raising questions about the reported numbers. Conversely, the Comanches asserted that they had taken the lives of 11 Texas Rangers. The Battle of Plum Creek reflects the enduring tensions and hostilities that marked the period of westward expansion in the United States, where narratives and casualty figures may forever remain subjects of dispute and discussion. Antelope Hills Expedition. The Antelope Hills Expedition, which unfolded from January to May 1858, was a military campaign led by the Federal 2nd Cavalry against the Comanche and Kiowa tribes within Comancheria. The primary catalyst for this expedition was the ongoing Comanche raids into Texan territories, which prompted a response from the United States. The leaders of the Comanche forces were Peter Nakona and Iron Jacket, and they commanded Comanche warriors in opposition to a combined force of 220 troops from the 2nd Cavalry, Tonkawa, Nodako, and Shawnee tribes. The main objective of this expedition was to relocate the 2nd Cavalry from Oklahoma to Texas, allowing for more effective management of the raiding Comanches. To achieve this goal, the United States enlisted the assistance of tribes that were traditional enemies of the Comanches, namely the Tonkawa, Nodako, and Shawnee. The outcome of this confrontation culminated in a battle in which 50 U.S. soldiers lost their lives, while 76 Comanches were killed, and an additional 16 were taken captive. The Antelope Hills expedition not only aimed to address the Comanche threat, but also had significant consequences. It expanded into the Battle of Little Robe Creek, a further episode in the ongoing conflicts between the United States and the Comanches in the volatile landscape of the 19th century American frontier. These clashes reflected the enduring tensions and complexities of this era, marked by territorial disputes, cultural differences, and shifting alliances among tribes and the U.S. military. Battle of Little Robe Creek. The Battle of Little Robe Creek, which also goes by the name Battle of Antelope Hills, occurred in 1858. It was a significant engagement between the Comanche allies, including the Kiowa and Apache, and the Texas Rangers, supported by various tribes like the Tonkawa, Caddo, Anadarko, Waco, Shawnee, Delaware, and Tahokano. This battle marked the first successful advance of the Texas Rangers into Comancheria. The United States gathered a force of 100 Texas Rangers and 113 allied warriors, while the Comanches assembled a force estimated to range between 200 and 600. The battle consisted of 3 distinct engagements. The first began on the morning of May 12th, when the Texas Rangers, led by General Ford, launched a surprise attack on a Comanche camp. The Comanches were taken completely off guard, resulting in a massacre. In the second battle, the Texas Rangers tried to replicate their earlier success by attacking another nearby Comanche encampment. This time, Comanche scouts spotted the approaching Rangers, leading to a more organized defense. Still, the Comanches suffered significant losses. The third and final battle at Little Robe Creek saw the Comanche warriors take an offensive stance against the Texas Rangers, who eventually withdrew back into Texas. However, the campaign proved costly for the Comanches, with 76 killed and over 60 warriors captured by the Texas Rangers. In contrast, the Rangers lost only 2 killed and 5 wounded. The casualties on both sides reflect the intense and often tragic nature of these clashes during the westward expansion of the United States. Battle of Pease River. The Battle of Pease River unfolded on December 18, 1860, in Ford County, Texas, and it has remained a subject of historical debate, primarily due to unreliable sources and the embellishment of facts over time. The events leading up to the battle date back to November 1860, when a band of Comanche warriors conducted raids on farms, ranches, and outlying settlements in several counties west of Fort Worth, including Parker, Young, Jack, and Palo Pinto. These raids resulted in the theft of property, and tragically, the loss of at least 6 lives. In response to these Comanche attacks, local citizens embarked on a pursuit of the Comanches, tracking them to a village located along the Pease River. However, being outnumbered by the Comanches, the citizens had to wait the arrival of reinforcements. 3 units, led by Lawrence Sullivan, Sewell Ross, Captain J.J. Curran, and First Sergeant John W. Spangler, eventually arrived on the scene, bolstering the citizens' efforts. On December 19, 1860, it was Sewell Ross who spearheaded the attack on the Comanche village. According to Ross' account, the Texans managed to kill 12 Comanches and capture 3 individuals. These captives included a woman identified as Cynthia Ann Parker, her daughter Tupsana, who was also known as Prairie Flower, and a young boy named Pease Ross. This entire incident unfolded rapidly, lasting approximately 20 to 30 minutes at most, and it left a lasting impact on the historical record. The First Battle of Adobe Walls, the First Battle of Adobe Walls of 1864, was a significant conflict involving the United States Army and Comanche allies, which included the Kiowa and Plains Apache. The battle originated when Kit Carson initiated an attack on a Kiowa settlement. In response to this, the Kiowa and Comanches launched a counterattack with a force numbering over 1,000 men. The battle unfolded over an extended period, nearly reaching a point where the United States Army was on the verge of running out of ammunition. This protracted engagement resulted in heavy fighting and resource depletion. The First Battle of Adobe Walls remains notable in the history of westward expansion and conflicts between Native American tribes and the U.S. military. The battle highlighted the strategic prowess and determination of the Comanche allies, and it revealed the formidable challenges faced by the United States Army as they engaged in military campaigns on the American frontier. The Red River War in 1874, what would be remembered as the Red River War, sometimes called the Buffalo War, commenced. By this time, the total population of the Comanche tribe had reduced to only around 3,000 individuals. Within the tribe, divisions emerged. Approximately 2/3 of the remaining Comanche had settled on reservations, often referred to as the tamed Comanche or the broken Comanche. Meanwhile, around 1,000 Comanche continued to lead nomadic lives on the plains, with only about 300 of them being actual warriors. These unsettled Comanche formed alliances with warriors from like-minded factions, including the Kiowa, Kiowa Apache, and Southern Cheyenne, congregating in the North Texas Panhandle, near the convergence of the 4 major forks of the Red River. In response, the federal government dispatched an immense force comprising 46 companies of soldiers, the largest military presence ever sent against Native Americans by the United States. General Mackenzie led this formidable force. Much of the Red River War unfolded through guerrilla warfare and search-and-destroy tactics. The conflict eventually culminated in the Battle of Palo Duro Canyon, where General Mackenzie executed a surprise attack on the Comanche settlement. The Red River War marked a pivotal moment in the Comanches' history, as they faced a formidable challenge from the U.S. military and the changing landscape of the American West. These Comanche war raids left an indelible mark on the course of westward expansion in the United States. However, as much as the Comanche warriors were skillful on the battlefield, the contributions of Comanche women were equally essential to their war raids. These women served as strategists, scouts, and decision-makers, offering valuable insights into enemy movements, gathering crucial intelligence, and actively participating in planning war tactics. Their resourcefulness and resilience were indispensable to the tribe's survival during raids, underlining their pivotal role in Comanche history. The audacious and relentless attacks of the Comanches challenged the westward expansion of settlers, leaving an atmosphere of insecurity and fear. The Comanche raids also significantly influenced government policies, such as the Indian Removal Act and the establishment of reservations. Settlers in response formed vigilante groups and sought protection through military forts. The battle for dominance over the southern plains, a region under Comanche influence, symbolized the broader disputes between Native American tribes and the settlers moving into the area. This transformation ultimately shaped the American West, leading to the end of an era of Comanche dominance and paving the way for a new chapter in American history. The decrease in Comanche war raids marked a crucial moment in their history, driven by a blend of factors that altered their lifestyle significantly. Foremost among these factors were devastating epidemics. The Comanches fell victim to diseases like cholera and smallpox, which swept through their population with catastrophic consequences. These epidemics decimated their numbers, including many warriors, significantly weakening their capacity for raids and warfare. As a result, their once formidable military strength waned. The relentless westward expansion of the U.S. population also played a pivotal role. Settlers encroached on traditional Comanche lands, leading to territorial disputes and frequent conflict. The Comanches found themselves pushed into smaller and less resource-rich territories, curtailing their mobility and limiting their ability to conduct raids effectively. Resource depletion was another critical factor. As settlers moved in, they disrupted the bison herds, which were essential to the Comanche way of life. Bison provided sustenance, clothing, and materials for a variety of purposes. With the decline in game and other resources due to overhunting and habitat disruption, the Comanche's traditional way of life came under severe strain, impacting their capacity for sustained raiding. The U.S. government's increased military presence and campaigns further exacerbated the situation. Large-scale military actions, such as the Red River War, posed significant threats to Comanche warriors. It resulted in the destruction of many Comanche resources and the capture of 1424 horses, a devastating blow to a culture deeply reliant on these animals. These factors collectively weakened the Comanche tribe, diminishing their capacity for relentless war raids and marking the end of an era in the American West. The Comanches faced a transformed landscape, and their survival relied on adapting to these challenges. Today, the Comanche tribe is recognized and represented in diverse ways. Efforts have been made to preserve and revive Comanche culture, emphasizing their historical significance. The tribe is engaged in educational and cultural initiatives to ensure their heritage endures. Comanche descendants also participate in powwows, traditional dances, and storytelling, sharing their traditions with a broader audience. They contribute to a more comprehensive understanding of the intricate and impactful history of the Comanche people in American history, and continue to shape their narrative in the present day. Thanks for watching. If you found this content informative, don't miss out on the wealth of knowledge waiting for you. It's as simple as hitting that subscribe button, clicking on the notification bell, and dropping your thoughts in the comments below. See you in our next video.